Hey there, Ravens flock. Welcome back to Baltimore Talk, the not-so-weekly podcast, coming to you live from my home office once again. And I am back, ladies and gentlemen. I know I was supposed to upload technically earlier this week, and when you're seeing it, this will be probably coming out on Monday, so it'll be 2 official weeks since the last upload. But it's because we've got a lot of things going on in the world of Baltimore and the Ravens itself, plus my own personal life. My birthday was technically earlier this past week. So that's why I have this awesome Baltimore Ravens LED sign above my head, courtesy of my dad. I absolutely love this thing. I think it is absolutely amazing. And, oh my gosh, let's just look at it. It's beautiful. I know you probably can't see it very well, but that's because it's so bright. It's so illuminating. It's awesome. And, again, you probably can't see it. Do I want to try and use my camera to zoom in? Nah. So, I also have this amazing new gold Baltimore Ravens chain, courtesy of my mother. Absolutely awesome. And, you know, I got some awesome and equally awesome gifts from my girlfriend and my daughter for my birthday as well this past week. So, everybody tell me happy belated birthday down in the comments. But, no Ravens mug today because I forgot to grab him. But we're drinking Prime, the official drink of Logan Paul, the WWE United States Champion. Why did I just shamelessly plug that in? Because I felt like it. No sponsor. Somebody, Logan Paul, if you see this, if you're watching this, sponsor me with Prime. I drink it all the time, dude. Love it. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a lot to talk about? Whew! It's been a crazy month for Baltimore. Starting off with the last thing that I started with, I want to say last time, Zay Flowers beat it. He beat them charges. Zay Flowers was cleared of all charges because there was not any substantial evidence or anything that they could get him on. So our guy Zay is clear in the clear, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. So shout out to Zay Flowers for that. So glad you're going to be hanging out and kicking it in Baltimore. I have been seeing a lot of fan speculation of people thinking that the Ravens commissioner is still going to possibly suspend him. I don't want to say a whole lot, but who knows? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't think he will, but there's always, that usual possibility of just because the NFL says he's good doesn't mean the Baltimore Ravens are going to give him the okay. But I have a good feeling he is going to be in the clear and playing with us all next season. So I am going to just tell you guys a lot. There is a full page and just a little bit on the back in my notebook. It's been a crazy month. I've purposely been saving a lot of these notes for this episode because I know last one was top 10 offensive plays, and if you remember at the end of that one, I told you that would be the next one would be top 10 defensive plays, but I feel like that could wait a little longer just because so much news is coming out and dropping daily. There are so many rumors and everything coming out to you daily. So I know you're probably all going to hear like half of this and be like, yeah, we knew this like 2 weeks ago. But guess what? It's because I'm late to the trend. I'm late to these things. And I try and take a whole bunch of notes so we can have one long, big exposition dump. Because I love you guys and I want you all to know how much I love you. So after that Zay Flowers thing, Chris Hewitt, our pass coordinator, he has been elevated to assistant head coach. We all saw how well our passing was from Lamar to Mark before he got hurt. Zay Flowers, Odell. So Chris Hewitt, my guy, welcome. Congrats on the upgrade. Congrats on the promotion, my man. So hopefully you keep this gravy train going. Keep this gravy train rolling for real. And also, Zach Orr, our new defensive coordinator since we lost Mike McDonald to the Seahawks. Zach Orr now being elevated. He said he's going to be on the field calling the games. He's not going to be up in the press box doing it with the headset. He's going to be on the field. So I honestly think that's a really good idea and a really good thing just because that actually instead of calling obviously defense don't call plays, but, depending on the coverage in there in zone, man, double, doesn't matter. Him being on the field, I feel like is going to give the defensive part of the team a little more, not insight, but a little more, probably a little more insight to see what they're doing. Obviously, they're going to get told in film after the fact, and you probably have a better view from the press box. But it's just that I can talk to you and tell you, hey, keep on this guy or watch so-and-so over here more if he's closer and down on the field. So I honestly think that's a better standpoint and a better decision, which I am all for, honestly. And Fox Sports, oh my gosh, we're going to talk about this list that they decided to putting Jordan Love and the Packers over Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Let's just look at this real fast. I want you guys to soak this all in. Just seeing how absolutely stupid, and pardon my French, how absolutely asinine this absolutely is. Like, you can't tell me that, yes, Jordan Love and the Packers did good, but let's just really think about it. Let's just really talk about it. Who finished with the best record in the league? Who finished top 10? Well, obviously top 10, because these top 10 teams did. But who, again, finished with the best record? Who went into the divisional and then championship games? Wasn't Jordan Love and the Packers? Now, was it? No. It was Lamar and the Ravens. So guess what? You guys done messed up. I don't. You want to talk about numbers? Yeah, they might have had some better numbers somewhere, maybe, but no, because whose defense led the league in stops and takeaways and sacks? Baltimore did. Guess what? No. Packers being over the Ravens, I personally, aside from being a Ravens fan, just being a logical human being, can tell that the Packers were absolutely mid. I honestly would probably throw them in the same range as the Bengals this season. Just broke above 500, but that's one of those teams that if you have a really good player or good number of players, they'll have a pretty decent season. But if you slink through mediocre, you're going to be in the mid to lower tier. And personally, I would say they're smack dab in the middle of mid and lower to mid and high. Like, they're just mid. So putting them above a top tier team like ourselves, absolutely insanity, absolutely crazy. You can't tell me that wasn't a Packers fan that made that list, or that was somebody who that was definitely fan voted. That was definitely fan voted for sure. Let's be honest. And I know I was seeing other lists of people putting, and I know this has nothing to do with Baltimore, but ranking QBs. They had, let's see if I can think of it. I probably won't be able to find the picture or find the post, but it was Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and some other people in top 3, top 5. And I'm sitting here reading this, and I'm looking, okay, C.J. Stroud needs to be in top 5. Brock Purdy, and same with Jared Goff. And people had like Goff at 14 or Stroud lower, or you had just, I've seen people, and again, I know it's a Baltimore thing, but putting Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I know Josh Allen had better numbers in terms of the season, but he also had double the amount of interceptions thrown by himself over Lamar did. His rushing yards were, yes, more than Lamar's, but that's because Lamar was not running that ball. I guess when it got near the end of the year, he was running that ball more, but Josh Allen was absolutely running that thing all season. So what do you want to say? You can't put certain teams or certain players above others because of their numbers. Yes, that is a huge contribution, and that, I would say that's about 97% of the contribution. But that other 3% is where it's like, is all that gray area, and sometimes it's that 3% that can make that difference. And again, just I think looking at it one more time right here, Fox Sports putting the Packers over the Ravens, absolutely not. You got me absolutely confused and absolutely messed up. No way. But onto some possible rumors and some other news. We we're looking at running backs because just because our salary cap, which I actually know. Before I talk about our possible signing, I'm going to talk about this here. Our salary cap has increased. Where did I put it? Hold on, let's just check. Yeah, so salary cap per club now is 329.4 million per club, and that's more than 10.5. That's more than 10.5 billion league wide. So what that means is we have a little more room. Actually, there's probably a lot more room to make some, not just some salary cuts, but to get some household names, renegotiate deals, because I'm going to be honest, there are a lot of our players who are free agents. Like I said, you got Odell, Patrick Queen, Marlon Humphrey, Gus Edwards. Lot of people who are free agents, and their numbers are looking like they're about to go up. So with that cap being what it is now, we might have some breathing room. At one point, Lamar said, yeah, I'll drop down on my salary to give the cap a little more. Then he took it back, which I don't. Honestly, some people disagree, thinking like, hey, that's a little selfish. Not really. He's a top 3 league quarterback. Or before I ruffle some feathers, a top 5. My personal opinion, he's top 3. Only people I say in the league right now currently that have over on him were the 2 Super Bowl QBs, Mahomes and Purdy. That's it. Yes, Lamar absolutely dog-walked Purdy on Christmas, but at the end of the day, who made it to the Super Bowl this year? Those 2. So, if my personal opinion, again, he's top 3 in my opinion. He should be number 1, but again, you got the refs and the Swifties absolutely backing the Chiefs. So we will never hear anything different about anyone being better than Patrick Mahomes, even though some people try and say Brady is still better than him, which I agree. If we're talking in history, yes. But again, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. It only had to do with the salary cap increasing and Lamar saying that he would possibly decrease his salary to increase the cap, then took it back, which makes sense. I agree. I understand. But what does that have to do with a possible signing? Some people, and there's a rumor going around that we might take King Derrick Henry from the Titans. Now, how do I see that affecting our running game? Because we have Gus Edwards, we have Keaton Mitchell. With Keaton Mitchell being hurt, I believe he will come back for this upcoming season, but I don't know. Like, yes, he has great numbers, great stats. It's funny. I should have talked to my friend DJ about this because he is a Titans fan, but I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yes, is there always room for improvement and always room for expansion of talent? And whoever was lacking in certain areas, should we cut them or trade them to another team for someone else? Always, yes. The NFL is a business. It's give and take. And if someone takes, you got to give someone or something up. It just depends on who, because Gus Edwards is a vet with us, and he's been rocking with us for a while now. And he went absolutely ballistic this year, especially this season, went absolutely bonkers. So, do I want to see us get Derrick Henry? Meh. I'm on the fence of, will that elevate our running game a whole lot? Hell yeah, absolutely. But then, what household name and staple or staples are we going to have to give up just to get that one guy? Because it's Derrick Henry. Like, the man is a top 5 running back of all people. So he's not just going to come over for a certain amount of money. We're going to have to give up one, maybe even 2 people when it comes to this. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Again, would I like to see it? Absolutely. Hell yeah. But then again, at the same time, what do we have to lose in order to gain him? It's very shaky. with the draft coming up in just over a month now, because it is March now. April 25th through the 27th is the draft. So with that being said, in that amount of time, from now till then, are we going to make that trade? Are we going to secure Derrick Henry, or even just after the draft up until training camp and the preseason? Are we going to make that trade and offer? The takeaway is getting a top 5 running back, but then the give is what? Who knows? And another running back that we might be interested in, or that again is another rumor, Saquon Barkley from the Giants, the only good New York Giants player. So again, I'll make it real fast, real quick, just like I did with Derrick Henry. In order to get, what do we have to give? Give and take. That's what it is. So again, Saquon Barkley, top 10. I won't say top 5 because there are a lot of teams that have a lot better running backs than Saquon Barkley. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, what are we gaining here from getting him versus what are we going to lose in the overhaul? Because with us basically purging and having to get a whole new coaching staff and the salary cap increasing, our players are already hungry as it is for when it comes to playing time, money, and itching that scratch of, we should have made the Super Bowl this year, so we're damn sure going to make sure we get it this coming season. What is the give and take of, are we going to get this and punch our Super Bowl ticket, or are we going to lose someone that we think could still do it if we kept them around? It's, again, King Henry, Saquon Barkley. Personally, in my opinion, if I could get one of the two, I'm taking King Henry all day. Like, the man's a certified GOAT. But then again, what if we say, oh, you get both? Okay, cool. But what are we losing from this? Are we losing more cap space? Who are we going to cut? What is going to be the drawbacks from getting one or two of these big names here? And honestly, the Giants could really still use the help. I know Saquon's fed up with being in New York and being a very mid and mediocre team, and him being a really good player. Sorry to all Giants fans. My grandmother, I apologize. I know you're a Giants fan, but yeah, the team's trash. I'm sorry. I still love you though. I had to get that one in there. But again, just overall, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't see it. Again, if I'm going to take the two, and it's going to be option A, Derrick Henry, option B, Saquon Barkley, I'm going to take Derrick Henry over that. But other than that, moving on to the next point, Nelson Aguilar did sign a 1-year contract extension, and I could not find how much he did sign it for, but he did sign a 1-year contract extension. So that's really good for us because we all know how Nelson Aguilar is. That man's not just got legs, but he has hands. He has certified hands. So glad he'll be staying around. And our guard, Marshall Yanda, and, well, not our guard now, but our former guard, Marshall Yanda, and Terrell Suggs will be eligible for the Hall of Fame this year. Yanda was drafted in 2007, and he spent the last 13 years from 2007 all the way up to 2020 with us. So they're both ready for the Hall of Fame. They are eligible for it. You ask my personal opinion. Terrell Suggs should have been in that damn thing a long time ago. After he retired with Ray Lewis and they won that Super Bowl back in 2012, he should have been indoctrinated right then and there. That entire year, that entire team, that specific one, that Super Bowl, last time we won the Super Bowl in 2012, that should have been our Hall of Fame team. Let me be honest, that was our Hall of Fame team. You had Ray Lewis, Ray Rice, Terrell Suggs, Joe Flacco, Ed Reed. Like, damn, like this is just 5 out of the whole team. So, I think that they should have been in that. Should have been, and Marshall was the guard there for that Super Bowl team. So that's 6. I really think they should have been in there long time ago. Yeah, guys. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Baltimore Talk.
The Batman will continue in a moment on Toonami. The Batman now continues.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for rocking and staying with me. Thank you for taking that short commercial break, because let's get right back into it. So, our Ravens are looking to hire Dennis Johnson as our new defensive line coach. He was, so I did write a blurb here. He was the defensive line coach most recently at Ballard University. He also was at LSU. He joined the BU staff in 2020. In 2022, he led Saiki Ika. He's currently the Cleveland Browns defensive tackle, so you can look up his pronunciation because I cannot pronounce his name to save my life. He led him to an All-American season while he coached. So I am very interested and very excited to have him here with us. I really feel like he's going to help elevate our defense to the next frontier, higher than what it already is, because with us having Zach Orr and him, I really think it's going to be a good one. And again, another thing here, I don't know why I'm saying another thing. We're going on our next point. We are also expected to hire Jerry Rossberger in a role focused on game management. So I really think this is going to be an important position and an important person for us to have, just because I love John Harbaugh as a coach. He's been a great coach throughout these years. But game management, clock management, I will be honest, is not his strong suit. So I definitely think that this is going to be a very good thing. He was our 68 was our special teams coach. Let's see, what else did I write? I apologize. He was our special teams coach from 2008 all the way up to 2018. He retired in 2018. Then he came back as the interim head coach for the 2022-2023 season, and now he's back. He's back as our game manager. So I definitely think that this is going to be a benefit and a bonus here, as well as our top 5 cap hits for the 2024 season. So y'all got to hear this one. Is when I already talked about the salary cap increase. This is what we got. Lamar is at number 1, obviously, at $32.4 million. You got Ronnie Stanley at $26.2 million. Marlon Humphrey, $22.9 million. Marcus Williams, $18.7 million. Mark Andrews, $16.9 million. I'll be honest, Mark Andrews is a great tight end. I'm kind of surprised he's not paid more. Granted, I bet it probably went down a little bit since he got hurt week 11, so I understand why that probably went down, but I honestly thought he was paid more. I thought he would have been paid higher, but whatever. Not my circus, not my monkey. Well, it will be my circus one day. I promise you guys, I will be the commissioner of the Baltimore Ravens one day. Y'all can help me get there. You guys all know my analytical skills. Maybe not my talking skills, but my analytical skills are great. So 2024 salary cap, we already talked about that. But what I didn't say was, though, with this salary cap being raised to 255.4, it's also with additional $74 million for player benefits. This includes their performance-based pay and benefits for retired players. So anybody who's had a Baltimore Ravens jersey or name, been under the Baltimore Ravens name, gets this. So I think this is great. Honestly, I think it's really going to help elevate us getting more talent. Granted, we already have the most talented team in the league. You can't tell me otherwise, because let's be honest, we've all seen the news. People, the top team, Kansas City, has been losing some big names. So let's be honest, it's just a matter of time before we start running things again. We're the Baltimore Ravens. We run things around here. But I really think that's going to help us in the long run getting, like I just said, more talent. I really think that's where it's going to come down to. And our assistant wide receiver coach, Keith Williams, is now he's Keith. Well, back it up here. The assistant wide receiver coach, Keith Williams, is the Saints' new wide receiver coach. So our assistant wide receiver coach went to the New Orleans Saints. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to say. He was with us for the past 3 seasons. Let's see. I wrote a really long blurb on this one. Served as a pass game specialist 2021 and 2022. He's now our 5th coach to leave us this offseason. So it's him, Mike McDonald, Wilson, Weaver, and Devlin. We are, like I said, our whole coaching staff is basically being purged. Why? We might not have been in the Super Bowl, but we all know who really the best team in the league this year was. Let's be honest here. But we are, though, hiring Mark DeLune as our new inside linebacker coach. He fills his vacancy for Zach Orr. So now with Zach Orr going from that inside linebacker coaching position up to our defensive coordinator, this will really fill in that gap because since we didn't have one, I think this will really fill in the gap a lot more, and we are able to clutch up, get things done. He was the defensive analyst at the University of Kansas for the last 2 seasons. He also served the inside linebacker coach for the Lions in 2021, the Bears in 2019 and 2020, and he was with the Chiefs in 2018. So not only was he with 2 really good teams, he was just. I really think that he's going to be a big asset to us when it comes to just this coming up season, honestly. We are hiring Doug Mallory as our next defensive back coach. So I think this is really going to come in handy because our defensive backs, they're good, but there is always room for improvement. I know that we have some really good talent. We have Stone and Matabike and Smith, Hamilton, Humphrey, Williams. Like, we have so much good talent all around on our defense, but I really feel like that him coming up and being our new defensive back coach is really going to help those guys, especially in the secondary, really take things to a new height and to a new level. That's just where I feel like things are going to elevate more. He was the defensive coach, or not defensive coach, he was the defensive analyst at the University of Michigan for the past 3 seasons. So, do you know what that means? Do you all know what that means? He worked with our head coach, Jim Harbaugh's brother, who is now, was it the Chargers or the Rams that he's now the coach of? Doesn't matter. I think it's the Chargers. We'll look back we'll see. I'll find out. It escapes me at the moment. But the fact that he worked in Michigan under another Harbaugh, I think it's going to be one hell of a defensive year again. We might have led the league in sacks, takeaways, and fewest points allowed per game when it comes to first half and all that in first quarter and whatnot. I think this is really going to push us to that next level. So how everybody like to ride the bandwagon of saying Lamar didn't have a good season, he rode the coattails of his defense. Yeah, as I've said before, 56 can't be put up by the defense. 33 on Brock Purdy, 38 on Jared Goff. So, that 38 was on the Cardinals. Again, 36 on Jared Goff and the Lions. Whatever. I just think that our defense was so good this past year. I think it's going to be even better next year. And again, that's where this salary cap increase comes in. I want to run it back real fast because with that, it's is this going to be, since we have a salary cap and increase, is this going to be where we pick up some big talent? Like, personally, in my opinion, I might even, you know what? I'll announce it not next week because that'll not next week. Probably 2 episodes from now, it'll be my top 10 players I want to see us sign, or top 10 players that I want to see us keep. If we haven't already kept them at that point, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep updated, keep going with it, just looking just to see where it's going to come out. Just because, like I said, with him being now our new inside defensive backs coach, that's going to really elevate our defense to another level. So then if one side is up, we got to make sure our offense stays up too. And again, we already have so much talent on offense. That's why it's going to be so hard to make this cap work and go from there. But my last point and my last talking point of the day, I know I ran through a whole lot already, gave you guys a lot, but I'm not going to overanalyze it. I'm not going to oversimplify it. I'm not going to overanalyze things. I'm going to make it keep it short, sweet, and simple. Just my quick personal thoughts, opinions, and analysis. You guys know how things go here on Baltimore Talk, which, funny enough, I have files, literally files of how I keep all my notes in order. So this new time in between seasons is called Baltimore in Between the Talk. Yeah, I know I came up with it. I'm funny. Thank you for laughing. But this last point I want to talk about, former Ravens safety Tony Jefferson is retiring from the NFL after 9 seasons. However, he will be rejoining our organization in the scouting department this summer. So, what does that mean for us? He was a great safety. I think Tony Jefferson, I'm so glad that we had the privilege to have him for as long as we did. I think he was great. He really was a great player. And now that he's going to be in the recruitment office and scouting people to see what's going on where and who we need for not just certain positions and the organization as a whole, and bringing that back to John Harbaugh and our commissioner, who I can never remember his darn name. My apologies. But I think that it's going to be very beneficial because he knows, obviously, any former player knows the game pretty darn well. So I really think that that's going to elevate us and benefit us fairly well, honestly. I think that's really going to be good news for us. And actually, my last point before we go, right guard Kevin Zeitler, it is rumored that he may not return because, obviously, it's salary cap, it's money issues. And do I want to see Kevin Zeitler go and do I want to see him leave? Absolutely not. But the deeper mystery is, who would we draft or who would we trade for? I honestly think our offensive line, fine. I think our offensive line is great. Despite some injuries here and there or certain people stepping up over others, I think we're good on the offensive line side. It's the backfield situation that we really need to get a handle on. So if he doesn't come back, I honestly can't think of who I'd want to take that position, but I am going to be doing some more research, looking into see whom we should get and where we should be when it comes to doing that. But with that being said, I don't honestly know how long this episode is. Maybe short, maybe long with that commercial in there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for joining me here again on another episode. I apologize for this coming out so long after. I know I do it like maybe every week or every other week in between this off season. But I promise you, once the season starts up, we're going back for it. We will be week to week, episode by episode. I promise. It will be coming out every single time. No arguments, no skips, no nothing. But with that being said, Thank you for joining me once again. And all, remember to like, comment, subscribe. We are officially now on our road to 50 subscribers. We are at 21 currently sitting there. So everybody, you share it with at least 1 to 2 people. Hit that bell icon to stay up to date with all things Baltimore Talk here on the channel. I have been your host, Anthony Probst. Thank you all for watching yet another amazing episode. I will see you later. Goodbye.